When we started talking about the wedding, Jessica told me about this plan they both had when each of them got married, that they'd have a doggy wedding ceremony between their dogs and their future husband's dogs at the same time. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, gonna go over a story titled, "Am I the a-hole for telling my fiancée she can either have me at our wedding or her best friend and their dogs and we get married at the courthouse?" And a big shout out to the dude that sent me this story. I forgot to write it down, but you know who you are. And guys, this story, and I'm sure you're puzzled by the title here, is one of the more ridiculous stories I've covered in a long time. In a nutshell, this guy and his girl, he's 29, she's 30, and a smack for marrying an older woman, even though she's 1 year older, are about to get married. They're planning their wedding, and she's a big dog lover. I love dogs too. I'm an animal person, but she takes this shit to a whole new level. She's decided that at their wedding, not only is she and her guy, the guy telling the story, going to get married, but also she wants to have her dog and her best friend's dog get married as well. In other words, they're going to have dogs also meet at an altar and do some ridiculous ceremony and all that. It's freaking ridiculous. And this guy, although trying to do nice things for her because they're getting married and everything, is really starting to see that she's batshit crazy. And it's pretty much calling an ultimatum on some things and saying enough's enough here. And of course, he's the bad guy. And you're also going to see here, guys, in the story, it really sounds to me, and I'm sure a lot of you, that this girl and her best friend, this arrangement with their dogs, is way more important to her than actually marrying him. And I'll let you guys be the judge of that as I go through this crazy, ridiculous story here. But this goes to show an example. You can't make this shit up. There really are wacko people in this world. So, and I like to make fun of them. So, starts off, it says, Jessica, a 30-year-old female. Of course, her name's Jessica. Some of the craziest girls I've ever known in my life, living all over the freaking country, are named Jessica. Jessica, a 30-year-old female, and I, a 29-year-old male, are getting married next year. We've been doing the wedding planning, got places and things picked out, and it's been going good until we hit this snag. Abby is Jessica's best friend and maid of honor. Both of them love dogs. They both have dogs. When we started talking about the wedding, Jessica told me all about this plan they both had when they got married. They were going to have a doggy wedding ceremony because their dogs and their future husband's dogs at the same time. How far does this plan go back? To like freaking kindergarten? I don't have a dog, not a dog guy, so there's no potential for that to happen. I like her dog enough and let her do what she will with him, and I do get him treats and toys sometimes. I thought that would be the last I heard of that. You were so wrong. Well, good for him. That dog is her child, and he may be a dog person. I don't know if he's a cat person or a bird person, but that dog's important. Treat that dog with love. She and Abby started to talk about how cute it would be to include both of their dogs at our wedding party. The wedding's supposed to be about you two, not about Rover. Not my thing, but I have friends and family that have done something similar, and I want her to enjoy the day, so I said okay, thinking they'd just be up at the altar or something like that. Nope, they want their dogs to get married during our wedding. I wasn't too keen on the idea and raised concerns like what would they do with both the dogs for the rest of the day. If you don't like this, then don't go along with it. This is your day too, you know. It isn't just her day, even though a lot of people think that's the case. Bullshit, because you're involved as well. You're forking over some money. You're forking over your soul to get involved with her because now the state's involved. You can have a say in this. But he's seeing who she really is now. What if the venue we picked doesn't allow pets? We went back and forth, and I agreed they could do their dog ceremony at the end of our ceremony. A couple weeks later, Jessica and Abby bring it up again. They want parts of the reception to be dedicated to their dogs and also friendship. Shit like puppy picture slideshow, a cake for the dogs, dog-friendly favor bags because they want their friends and family to bring their dogs too. Now they want to have everybody else at this wedding bring their dogs too. This certainly is not going to happen in a church, and I'd like to know what venues are going to allow this. probably a venue that will have it that it's outdoors only, and they probably won't be too keen on dog crap being everywhere. This is ridiculous. This is a big, ridiculous show. I mean, not that weddings aren't all big, ridiculous shows, but you get my point. Where's this whole thing about the two of them entering in the bond of holy matrimony? There's nothing holy about this. This is holy shit. Or it's going to be holy dog shit when this thing is done. I told them no, and I already made my one compromise on the issue, and I don't want a bunch of dogs around for our entire wedding and reception. And if they want that, we'd have to find an all-new venue probably. Good. Stick to your guns. I reminded her that she was near the limit of what she could contribute toward our wedding funds, and I'd be paying for the rest. And I don't want to pay extra stuff for a bunch of dogs. Good. Stick with that. And, you know, I'm noticing an interesting pattern here in these stories about the weddings. It seems like it's always these guys that are paying for these weddings. What about the parents? Last time I checked, tradition is that the bride's family pays for the wedding, and the groom's family pays for the rehearsal dinner, the events the night before, sometimes the honeymoon. I don't hear anything about her family paying for anything. And here's the deal. If she wants all this dog nonsense, fine. Get out your checkbook. You're going to pay for this. But then again, she can fork over her checkbook. It's going to impact him anyway. This chick is nuts. Okay? And her best friend and their dogs are more important to this guy than this guy. He needs to jump ship. Bail now when the signs are there. They both said this was really important to them, so I told Jessica point blank, we can stick to what we originally agreed to, or she and Abby can have their costly party that allowed dogs by themselves, and we just get married at the courthouse by ourselves. Good. Or how about a better idea? Don't marry her. She's nuts. Abby, the best friend, told Jessica I was being manipulative and making ultimatums and wanted her to go stay at her place until OP pulls his head out of his ass. Jessica didn't go, but we're still going back and forth. She still wants things her way and feels I'm being too selfish. He's being selfish here? Really? I'm sure if this guy told his story to all their friends and family, they would be saying she is the one being too selfish. And probably his parents are going to say she's freaking nuts. I don't think I am, because I want an enjoyable wedding and marriage with Jessica, not Jessica, Abby, and their pets. Am I the a-hole? Hell no, brother. Absolutely not. The only way you'll be an a-hole is you actually marry this chick. She's nuts. She's a selfish a-hole. And this seems to be more about her and her best friend than you. I have to wonder, because there's a pattern to all these stories, how long they've been together. Is it relatively new, a few years, or it's a very long time? Because if it's relatively new, she probably found herself what she perceived as a nice guy, because she's 30 years old now, and you all know when they hit that 30, they're scared shitless if they don't have a ring on their finger, and she's rushing things along, so she found a guy, because maybe she's good looking, and that thought that, okay, I'll get my nice guy, he can provide, and he'll be happy to marry me, because no other girl ever paid attention to him, and her actions are demonstrating that she doesn't give a shit about him. You're not being an a-hole for you laying out your ultimatums, but you are being an a-hole if you marry her, because you're obviously not that important. If she truly loved you, it'd be about the two of you, not her and her friend and her dogs. I love dogs too, but good Lord, this is ridiculous. So no, cut her loose, start looking at other options. That's what this guy should absolutely do. She's nuts. You don't want someone that's going to make this much of an issue of these stupid things. And I also might add, this is another example of how dumb women are with money. Now, there are exceptions, but by and large, women are way, way worse with money than men. Now, a real few comments before I wrap up this quick email. One guy says here, not the a-hole, but it is wild that your fiancée is prioritizing this over your actual wedding. She's making this day about her and her friend and sidelining you almost completely. Exactly. Her best friend is making the day about her. That's such a bizarre overstepping, and the fact that your fiancé doesn't see that is really concerning. Like, this actually comes across as a pissing contest as on part of her best friend. She should be supporting your fiancé and you, not undermining your wedding plans to turn into a party for her dog. I would honestly postpone the wedding altogether, because this is a terrible glimpse of your fiancé's priorities. You rank below her best friend's effing dog. Correct. Yeah, I gotta wonder if those two have a history together, and I don't mean as friends. Another guy says, this right here. These women are just thinking about themselves and not really even about the dogs, much less the OP. I'm sure the dogs aren't going to enjoy the ceremony and build memories from it. Or maybe they will, just not good memories. I'm thinking the dogs probably think these two are crazy as OP thinks, not the a-hole at all. Another guy says, not the a-hole. Step aside and let Jessica marry Abby, which is clearly what at least one of them wants. That's what I think. Then they can do whatever they like with the dogs in the ceremony. Another guy says, not the a-hole. Who's Jessica marrying, you or Abby? The dog idea is over the top, but could be cute. Smack. It is over the top, and it ain't cute. If it was your dog marrying Jessica's dog, it's really weird to me that it's Jessica marrying you and her dog marrying Abby's dog at all at the same time, more or less. And Jessica is taking so much time of each day celebrating her commitment to spending her life with you, to celebrate her friendship with Abby via their dogs. That's not the point of a wedding. And what about the guests who don't have dogs, are allergic to dogs, or terrified of dogs? Are they less important guests? Most of the time, childhood dreams about our weddings don't come true. We marry cat people instead of our dog people. We come to value homes over expensive parties and realize we can't dance. It's time for Jessica to let this one go. Well, Jessica has obviously let her common sense and brain go a long time ago. Ditch her. She's toast. This is going to be your life. If you think that this is it, the craziness, think again. And by the way, if she's willing to spend all this money on this stupid-ass thing with the dogs and the party and all that, imagine what she's going to be willing to spend your money on later on down the road once you guys say I do. Make that abundantly clear. And this girlfriend of hers is always going to be a part of your lives, and that ain't going to stop either, okay? It is about you two. End of story. And I think that one of them is in love with the other one. Let's make that clear. Again, you always pay attention to people's actions. But anyhow, guys, like I said at the beginning, you can't make this shit up. There are a lot of wackos out there. But you know what? The wackos out there provide good content to make shows and videos about. And I get to make fun of them. And you get to hear them and you get to laugh at them. And that's what they deserve because they're morons. But anyhow, guys, that'll be a good, quick video for a good laugh today. Alright guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me just think about this. Let me know, guys. Have you ever been to a wedding where people brought freaking dogs? Have you ever been involved in weddings or known people that have been ridiculous when it comes to their pets involving and things like that? I'd like to hear about it, and I'm sure other people would too. And also, guys, you come across a good story like this, share by all means. Email it to me, strongsuccessfulmail@gmail.com. Just give me some time to get to it, and I definitely will when I get a chance. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.